Okay, so we've all heard it a million times, right? If you want to be healthy, the number one rule is to drink plenty of water. It feels like the simplest, most basic advice in the world. But what if that simple rule isn't actually the whole story? Today, we are putting that piece of common wisdom under the microscope.
I mean, if I asked you that question right now, what's the best thing you can drink for your health? You'd probably answer in a heartbeat. It feels like one of the easiest questions out there, doesn't it? Most of us are pretty sure we've got the answer nailed.
And yeah, this would be it. Just drink plain water. It's what every doctor, every nutritionist, probably your parents, have told you for as long as you can remember. It's the gold standard, the undisputed champion.
But let's be real. We live in a world with sports drinks, electrolyte powders, a dozen kinds of milk, you name it. So is that super simple advice still the final word? Or is there maybe a more nuanced, a more scientific answer to how we should really be hydrating? Well, let's find out.
First things first, before we start poking holes in the conventional wisdom, we have to give it its due. Let's really lock in the powerful, science-backed reasons why water is, and always will be, absolutely essential to our bodies.
Let's just start with this one number, 60%. That number, that's you. Your body is roughly 60% water. It's in every single cell, every muscle, every organ. It is quite literally what you are made of.
And its job is so critical. I mean, plain water is a total powerhouse. It keeps our joints lubricated, it helps us digest our food, it helps our kidneys flush out all the junk, and on top of all that, it's got 0 calories, 0 sugar. That makes it the perfect thing to reach for instead of sugary drinks. So yeah, the advice to drink more water is built on a really solid foundation.
Okay, but here's where things get really interesting. This is where our little investigation takes a bit of a plot twist. We've established water is essential, no question about that. But is it the absolute best at the specific job of hydrating us? Well, the science makes things a little more complicated.
And this is the exact question that a group of researchers wanted to answer. Not what's the healthiest drink overall, but which liquid does our body hold on to the longest to stay hydrated? And I gotta tell you, the answer is probably not what you're thinking. So to figure this out, scientists came up with this really clever metric called the Beverage Hydration Index, or BHI. The idea is actually pretty simple. They'd have people drink a liter of something, and then they'd measure how much of that fluid the body retained over the next few hours. They set plain old water as the baseline, with a score of exactly 1.0. Anything that scores higher than that is, technically, more hydrating than water. And you guys, the results are wild. Get this. Skim milk, oral rehydration solutions like Pedialyte, and even full-fat milk all scored way higher than water. That means your body literally holds onto the fluid from those drinks for longer. And you know what's even crazier? Sports drinks, the stuff marketed specifically for hydration, actually scored a little bit worse than plain water. Now, this doesn't mean water is bad. It just means it's not the most efficient for long-term hydration.
So what is going on here? Why would milk be better at this? Well, when you chug a glass of plain water, your body absorbs it super fast. It goes right into the system, which can sometimes trigger a response in your kidneys to, flush it out pretty quickly. But milk is different. It's got nutrients, protein, fat, electrolytes. All that stuff slows down how quickly it leaves your stomach. The fluid gets into your bloodstream more gradually, which means your kidneys don't get that sudden signal to get rid of it. So you just end up retaining more of that fluid for longer. Pretty cool, huh?
Okay, so we figured out that plain water should be our daily go-to, even if something like milk can be more hydrating in specific situations. But that brings up another huge question. Which plain water? It's time to get into one of the biggest debates in the world of hydration: tap versus bottle.
A lot of us grab a bottle of water because we think it's cleaner, maybe purer, or just safer than what comes out of our faucet. But it turns out there might be a hidden problem with bottled water, something you can't see, you can't taste, and you can't smell.
And that problem is nanoplastics. A recent study developed a whole new way to find these incredibly tiny plastic particles. And what they found was kind of shocking. On average, the bottled water they tested had 3 times more nanoplastic particles than treated tap water. And a lot of those particles were coming from the plastic bottle itself. So all of this really builds a powerful case for just using filtered tap water. Not only are you dodging that higher concentration of nanoplastics, but it is so much cheaper. It's a fraction of the cost. Plus, a simple activated carbon filter, the kind in those popular pictures, does a great job of removing stuff like chlorine and zinc that can give tap water a weird taste. So you get better taste, way less plastic, and you save money. It's a no-brainer. All right. We have the science, we know the surprising truth about what's most hydrating,
And we've seen the showdown between tap and bottled water. So what do we actually do with all this info? Let's put it all together into a simple, actionable playbook.
Here it is, your 4-step playbook for smarter hydration. Step 1. Make filtered tap water your default. For your everyday needs, it's the simplest, safest, and most affordable choice. Step 2. Just listen to your body. Seriously, for most of us, thirst is an amazing built-in guide. If you're thirsty, drink. Step 3. Use those other drinks strategically. Now you know the science. After a really tough workout or on a super hot day, a glass of milk can actually do a better job of rehydrating you than water. And finally, Step 4. Be mindful of sugar. This is the easiest win you can get. Every single time you swap a soda for a glass of water, you are making an excellent choice for your health.
So in the end, that simple advice to just drink plain water is still really, really good advice. But now you know the science behind it. You know the why. And you also know when a different choice might be even smarter. The power to choose wisely is in your hands. So, what are you going to fill your next glass with?
We've all heard it. Just drink plain water. But you know what? It might not be that simple.
Yeah, we all assume water is the best hydrator. But is it really? Science might have an update for you.
Okay, first, the basics. Water is the undisputed champ, 0 calories, and your body absolutely needs it. And get this, it's kind of got a superpower. Drinking water can actually boost your metabolism by 30%. That means swapping just one sugary drink for water saves you a ton of calories. Easy, right? So water's the winner. Case closed, right? Well, what if there's another way to measure hydration? Turns out there is. Scientists created the Beverage Hydration Index just to test this very thing. And the results? Whoa. You're not going to believe what hydrates better than water. It's milk. Yup, in head-to-head tests, both skim and full-fat milk actually kept people hydrated for longer. So why's that? Well, the nutrients in milk slow everything down, so you absorb the fluid more gradually. Okay, so should we all just start chugging milk? Hold on, that hydration score isn't the whole story. I mean, once you factor in the calories, sugar, and cost, water's advantages really start to add up. That's why for your everyday health, water is just the smarter, more sustainable choice, period. But wait, there's one more thing. The source of your water? Yeah, that really, really matters. Check this out. A new study found that bottled water can have way more of these tiny nanoplastics. And where do they come from? The bottle itself. They literally leach out of the plastic packaging. So what's the solution? Filtered tap water. A simple filter cleans it up without adding any plastic. All right, so here's your game plan. Make filtered tap water your go-to and listen to your body. See, that simple choice to drink water has layers. What you drink and where it's from truly matters.